everyone. We have some great news. Trey Hendrickson has been extended by the Cincinnati Bengals, and we're going to talk about it here on No Buts About It. That's right, Trey Hendrickson. I think I said extended at the top of the video. That is not correct. I wanted to go ahead and go live though, because this is huge news for the Cincinnati Bengals. They didn't extend him. I want to be clear about that. They gave him a $14 million raise though, and this is a huge deal. Chris O said, "Hey, look, you got one defender now." Hey, I'll take what we can get. I'm still hoping Al Golden kind of turns around this defense schematically. They did not look good in the preseason, though. I will be the first to admit that. I have said that multiple times on our show. But having Trey, that is just such a big part of the locker room. He's a huge part of what this team needs, what this culture needs. Having him on the sidelines during the preseason games, even that alone was a big deal. Obviously, I would have rather him been available to play, but you could tell that he was still really involved with the game, especially during that Colts game. There were some photos of him like kind of fist pumping and getting excited for guys. And hopefully Shamar Stewart can bring something to that pass rush as well. I am cautiously optimistic about Shamar Stewart, so hopefully he can bring something, get some sacks, and that would help out the secondary as well. Need more than one defender. Go stop the Vikings offense week 3. Oh, man, he's talking trash about these Vikings fans. No, you're right, though. Hey, Jordan Addison's out, though. So, I still think y'all should trade for Adam Thielen. Hasn't happened yet, but I do think that would be a good scenario for the Minnesota Vikings to look into. But Trey Hendrickson, such an important player in Bengals history, arguably the greatest free agency signing in Bengals history back in, I believe it was 2021. And, the Bengals, it was kind of a stupid holdout when we look at it. They agreed on the money. They agreed on the years. What they didn't agree on was the guaranteed money. Like, come on. Like, what has Trey not done? Trey has stayed healthy. Trey has been your sack leader for multiple years. He led the NFL in sacks last year. So give him his guaranteed money. You're going to end up paying that money anyway. So why not just give it to him now? That's my opinion on the whole thing. I'm hoping we can get some more kind of details for how this went down while we're live here. Right now, everyone's just kind of shocked that this went down. Amari Cooper is signing with the Raiders, though. If that strikes anyone's interest, that just popped up. I don't really care about that at this moment, but I guess I'll report it. Amari Cooper is signing a 1-year deal with the Raiders. But Trey Hendrickson, last year led the league in sacks. He had 17.5. Last year, he had 17.5 the year before. 2022, he only had 8 sacks, but that down year with his 8 sacks, that's still pretty good. He had 14 in 2021, which is his first year with the Bengals. So Trey Hendrickson, big part of this team. I was hoping you would trade him to the Vikings so we didn't have to face him. Yeah, I was hoping he wouldn't get traded so that we wouldn't have to face him. Specifically, if he was going to get traded, I was hoping it would be to the Colts so I could at least still kind of root for him a little bit. But I'd much rather him be a Cincinnati Bengal anyway. So to be clear, though, for those of you who are just now joining, I see we've got a few new faces here. You're always welcome to comment. Feel free to comment whatever. Well, let's talk about this. This is what these live streams are all about. But this is not an extension. The Cincinnati Bengals did not extend Trey Hendrickson. Instead, what they did is they basically gave him a pay raise for this year. He is getting a $14 million pay raise, and that will make his salary $30 million for this year, just this year. And after that, he's not under contract. So he could still theoretically be a free agent under next season. He could be. Or the Bengals could tag him. I could see the Bengals tagging him, but honestly, I don't think they should. They know what Trey Hendrickson is. That's why this whole thing is just kind of dumb because we know who Trey Hendrickson is. It's nothing special. He he's led the league in sacks last season. He had 46 combined tackles last season, 43 the year before. He was the only thing on this defense that worked. The Cincinnati Bengals needed Trey Hendrickson. They still need Trey Hendrickson. And it really goes back to what I said with the T. Higgins situation. When you're looking at the Cincinnati Bengals or any football team for that matter, you're looking at extending or signing or in any sort of contract negotiations with a player, you got to look at, is this team a better team with that player on the field? And there is no one. There is absolutely zero people. Jesse talked about this when we had him on last week. The Bengals have even said, we are a better football team with Trey Hendrickson on the field. There is no reason Trey Hendrickson should not be in stripes. And for at least one more season, he will be. But he should finish his career in stripes. There's no reason why Trey Hendrickson should not be in stripes for the rest of his career. He has earned that right. He has been so good. He has been such a good player for the Bengals, both on and off the field. And the Bengals recognize that. They've said that so many times. And that's what is frustrating about this whole situation. And I would say the same things to Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. Like Micah Parsons. Are you a better team with Micah Parsons on the field or not? I would hope that they would say yes. I think most teams would say yes about Micah Parsons being better for the Cowboys than better off the Cowboys. But I don't know. I don't really care what the Cowboys do. It doesn't affect me right now. But the Bengals were kind of in that same boat, and that's why this whole argument was so stupid. So what do we think about this, guys? Would we rather have seen him get a deal somewhere else? I know Chris said that he was hoping they would trade him to the Vikings, or at least just trade him so the Vikings didn't have to face him. But there's some other people in here. Let me know your thoughts. What do we got thinking about here with the Cincinnati Bengals and Trey Hendrickson? And I'm going to continue to look for updates on this situation as well. See what kind of the boots on the ground guys are saying about this situation so that we can get all of the reporting here in one place on Trey Hendrickson. Yeah, so Jordan Schultz, who I trust on this 100%, is saying they're in the final stages of agreeing to it. Max Murphy, who's Miles Murphy's brother, has said it's coming to a close 100%. It's done. Like, we're locked in here. Trey Hendrickson will be a Cincinnati Bengal. There's no doubt about that. I wish he had been locked in. I almost wonder. There's a part of me that wonders, and I gotta double check this. Let me fact check this before I say this. Gotta fact check myself. I got caught last week on something, so now I'm being extra careful. Okay, good thing I did because I would have been wrong. I was going to say, I wonder if the Bengals are kind of holding out on Miles Murphy to figure out if they're going to need to pay him a big contract if he balls out this year. But he's not a free agent until 2028. And with both Trey Hendrickson and Shamar Stewart on the field now, I don't think that we would run into a situation where Miles Murphy just, pops up and is all of a sudden this big issue that the Bengals need to deal with in terms of defensive end. He hasn't shown that he's going to be that, but to be fair to him, he hasn't really been given a chance. And that was my biggest beef with Lou Anarumo, was he wasn't giving young guys a chance. So the Cincinnati Bengals don't even know what they really have on defense. And yes, the defense is not good. It hasn't looked good in the preseason either, but I don't know. I know these guys are on the team and I know they're high draft picks, but people are calling them busts. And I'm like, they have less than 500 snaps and they've been on the team for 4 years. And that's just because of the way Lou Anarumo rolls. He gives, this is my fear for Indianapolis Colts players, that they're going to discover this real quick. You're going to Latu may not get snaps. I think he's slated to be the starter right now, but I could also see Lou just kind of being like, we got this other guy here that has been on the team longer, so he's going to get the starting snaps, even though you might be better. We got all of this for a 1-year deal. Yeah, that's true. That is true. But alas, it is done. Feeling pretty confident here now. Trey is just such a great. Trey's one of the few Bengals players and NFL players actually that I have been blessed to meet, and he's just such a nice guy, such a good guy, and I'm so glad that he is still a Cincinnati Bengal. The team in so many ways. While we're, like I said, same thing with Amari Cooper. I guess I'll just report this. The Bucs plan to release quarterback Kyle Trask per a source. This is from Jeremy Fowler. He will revert to IR with a shoulder issue, then work out a settlement or release and look for a new team. So Kyle Trask. I promise I was not trying to say trash. I don't know why it came out like that. Will no longer be the quarterback 2 in Tampa Bay. Obviously, they signed Teddy Bridgewater, so that makes sense. Yeah, we've got lots of moves expected this week. Make sure to stop on by No Butts About It and check out our other channel, our other pages. We've got some other videos on there. Chus is planning on doing some stuff. He's been busy. We've all been busy. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss anything. I've been trying to do a lot better about posting news quickly. So make sure you're subscribed to that. That really helps us out. I was hoping we'd get some more Bengals news here because that's what this live stream is about. But yeah, Trey Hendrickson. So Adam Schefter makes a great point. Trey Hendrickson had said he would not play this season for the $16 million remaining on his contract. That reworked contract has basically doubled his pay this season. So he was 16 mil. Now he's going to get 30 mil. So not a perfect double, but pretty close. Good for him. You know, my thing with the Bengals is, yes, I root for the team, but the front office picks really dumb hills to die on. And this wasn't a situation where they didn't have the money. They had the money. We all knew they had the money. They had the money to sign Trey, a cornerback, and Dalton Risner. And they can still sign Dalton Risner. They could have given Trey I think it was $35 million. Okay, we got something from Chris here. He's got some he's boots on the ground, Minnesota Vikings. What should we got here? Rumor is Vikings trade for Adam Thielen or sign Robert Woods when he gets cut by the Steelers. So yeah, Chus was talking about Robert Woods possibly getting cut in the last episode of No Butts About It. So that is possible. Adam Thielen. And someone in the comments, I forget who, I wish I could give them credit, pointed out that Adam Thielen did play a season under Kevin O'Connell. So he does have a good idea of that system at least. But I still really like that Adam Thielen trade. I think you could get him for cheap. And he may be more beneficial than Robert Woods as well. We will see what happens. It's clear NFL Network listens to No Butts About It. That's what happened because we started talking about it and then they started talking about it. So obviously what's going on here. But I think that would make a lot of sense. I don't know that Robert Woods makes as much sense, but maybe, like I said, you don't need a strong guy. You just need someone who you can put in there if Ty Felton gets off to a slow start. Because ultimately Felton is going to be your future wide receiver 3, I would presume, would be my guess, or at least a rotational piece, more than Adam Thielen or Robert Woods would be. Yeah, this was a big day in the NFL. Let's talk about the Terry McLaurin signing real quick. We'll obviously talk about this more on Wednesday, but yeah, both Terry McLaurin and Trey Hendrickson got their deals done. Commanders signed Terry McLaurin to a 3-year deal up to $96 million. Bengals signed Trey Hendrickson to a 1-year, $30 million deal. And then Jacoby Myers requested a trade from the Raiders. I did not even see that. That's kind of crazy. And then Joe Mixon is going to miss at least 4 games. Obviously, he's a former Bengal. That sucks for him. But Trey Hendrickson, I really thought there would be more information on this deal, but it's a good deal. It's a good deal for the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm glad that they got it done, and I'm glad that you guys are all here. We'll talk about this more on No Butts About It on Wednesday. But right now, that's just kind of my initial reaction, and it is so good. It is so happy. We got it done. Everyone on the Bengals is signed, and we weren't the last ones either. That's so rare. Usually, I mean, all year it's been, oh, the Bengals don't sign their guys all summer. That's all we've heard. And now I was so worried that Micah Parsons was going to be there. I was worried that Cam Hayward was going to get his deal done, which I don't think he can actually do his till September 4th. But I was so happy this got done. Make sure to comment below what you think if you're watching this later. And thank you so much for joining me. We will talk about this more on Wednesday, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of that. But until then, and until next time, I'm Josh Butts with No Butts About It. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, go do something nice for someone.